Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is January the 22nd, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Today was it was a day. I do want to maintain that I am doing good. I think on the overall, when I look at this day, it was fine. It was totally all right. It was more than. But I don't know. Maybe it's just like the midwinter just like blues or some shit. I don't know. Something's in the air. It's so cold. I definitely know the cold has something to do with it. But today was just not it. It was not hitting. It was very uphill for me. But overall work did go well. It was fine outside of just being miserably cold. I did run into like a random supervisor and he like had like a thing of hand warmers in his hand and he's like, "Do you need this?" And I was like, "Yes." And so I used one today. I was kind of like just swapping hands. Of course, I still have my heater and whatnot, but I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, from the like waist down, I'm just freezing. My feet frozen. But it is what it is. We move. Overall, today was fine. It was good. Also, though, my stomach was just tore up. We had pasta last night. It was good. I picked out so bad. Like I don't know what got into me. I was just like on my food max. Obviously, I talked about the brownie yesterday before I recorded. We had the pasta. Then afterwards, I ate like more of the sour dots. But yeah, I woke up today just miserable, not feeling good, cold to the bone. So yeah, it was just kind of rough in that regard. Also, just I don't know, man. I think it's also we've talked about this before in previous episodes, just with the whole Trump 2.0 era and whatnot. Like talking to some people, they're real upset, and I get it. I'm also not in the greatest of moods and things of that nature. So, I get it, but to some extent, it's just like, man, I don't know how to talk to you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's like, I'm out of motivational quotes and whatnot. I guess in some cases, I don't know. Especially when you try it and then it's just like, oh, no, I'm just gonna sit here and be upset. It's like, I think it's just you're just in the mode, and I get that too. I understand. Sometimes it's just not the right time to talk to certain people. I don't know, and then also I just had some other conversations today that just weren't that great, but also one or two that were fine, that were great. So once again, I really am trying to count the whole day and not just the misses. Oh, then we went to the gym. Gym was overcrowded today. Too many motherfucking people. I somehow wound up staying way too long. Like I was there like 30 minutes or so longer than I normally am for no reason. Like it's not like I talked to anybody. It's not like I feel like I didn't hit anything extra. I don't know. It was kind of miserable, which sucks because like I feel like we're on like what 3 4 months now. This and usually I'm in a good mental space and I come out of the gym feeling even better. But it was just kind of uphill. And then to top it off, this was probably the cherry on top. And luckily, I honestly, I got very lucky because it was on the last activity for me before I had to get out of there, before I wanted to get out of there, was my phone died. So I'm literally just having a raw dog, about, 13 minutes or so just on the bike, just not happy about it. No phone, no music, no video, no vibes. So that kind of sucked. But overall, I'm good. I'm happy to be here recording with y'all right now, my dear listeners. So yeah, here we are. Also, it's definitely worth mentioning. I forgot to mention it last episode. But Marvel Snap did come back. So they're back online. Granted, they're still on the same situation with TikTok in the sense of if you, let's say, uninstalled it or you haven't installed the game, then you can't play it right now. Like, you just can't access it unless you do it through like a VPN kind of situation, I would imagine. I'm not 100% sure. So, I'm just happy to be back playing my little game again. I was playing it yesterday. I just forgot in the kind of milieu of the day. But yeah, so that was nice. Once again, like I'm really am like, hey, it was good. Everything is good. Everything's irie. I just, I was in a bit of a mood, for sure, up until like around this point. But I will say, and this is bad. This is like not good mentality. But hey, you take the wins you can take, right? Um, Despite the fact that I ate like such a fucking pig last night and had such a fat Tuesday, I somehow found a way to cut weight. And I was like down from 227, I think is where I was at. I was like sitting at 226. And I'm like, get out of town. I was so happy. Like I literally went from being like so mopey to being like, yeah, let's go. Which, once again, I want to stress, is probably not healthy to put that kind of onus on any kind of weight change. Okay, for sure. But once again, we take a dub where we take it. I was fine seeing 230. So the fact that I was like not there, I was like, let's go. Let's fucking go. So yeah, we take those. Let's see. Was there really anything else I wanted to report in, blog about before we get started? No, I think we're good to go. I think we're hot to go. Let's go ahead and do our startup and we'll get into some news. I will say though, just making a note of it, it's been hard. I feel like it's getting harder for me lately. I don't know if it's me becoming more of a curmudgeon, if it's me, just being more to a point where like I'm going to say something here. Like I'm upset, so I'm going to speak on it. Because I feel like I've been crashing out more. And I don't like that. I feel like it has this like unwound feeling, that I have. So because I don't want to crash out. I want to be the type of person who resolves things like in an amicable, just sensible way, right? Like that's what I want to do. But then there's so many times where I just have like this knee jerk impulse in a moment, or it's the opposite where I've stewed and marinated on a thing, on an issue and a problem, and I didn't want to work it out in a healthy way, and instead I want to just do that and then pounce on a person like a spring loaded whatever. It's not good. I don't want to be like that. But once again, I think it's just the midwinter madness. Like I need to warm up. I do. It's crazy that I saw that the forecast is looking towards like 35 degrees, and I'm like, cool, I'll take it. Anything above freezing. Get this fucking old snow out of my fucking face, and if it snows again, I'm gonna buy a gun and just shoot the snow. Just shoot it into the flurry. I'm so over it, y'all. But it's America. I could do that if I wanted to. I mean, well, maybe not shoot it into the snow. That would be maybe not, conducive. But I could do everything up until that, And if I went to I don't know, an outdoor range and just banked into some snow, I could do that. But once again, I don't know if there's. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, I'm gonna take another sip. I'm double dipping. All right. Let's set up. From CBS News. Prince Harry settles lawsuit with Rupert Murdoch's News Group newspapers for apology, substantial damages. Britain's Prince Harry has settled his lawsuit against the UK newspaper group owned by media mogul Rupert Murdoch, News Group Newspapers, or NGN. His lawyer told CBS News on Wednesday. Harry and a former senior UK lawmaker sued News Group in 2019 over alleged unlawful activities carried out by both tabloid journalists and private investigators. Employed by its newspapers, The Sun, and the no longer in circulation News of the World. It was one of the number of lawsuits Harry has brought against newspapers in Britain. I feel like we had covered a bit of, his lawsuit action maybe a year or two ago, maybe. I'm sure we have. But NGN offers a full and unequivocal apology to the Duke of Sussex. Sorry, every time I say the Duke of Sussex, I always just want to say it like that, and I think of sausage. I don't know why. For the serious intrusion by the Sun between 1996 and 2011 into his private life, including incidents of unlawful activities carried out by private investigators working for the Sun, the media company said in a statement read out in court Wednesday. The statement also included an apology for the activities of journalists and private investigators working for News of the World. NGN further apologizes to the Duke for the impact on him of the extensive coverage and serious intrusion into his private life, as well as the private life of Diana, Princess of Wales, his late mother, in particular during his younger years. We acknowledge and apologize for the distress caused to the Duke and damage inflicted on relationships, friendships, and family, and have agreed to pay him substantial damages, the statement said. Now, we do not know the number, so that is going to remain under wraps. But this is a big win for Harry, and I gotta be fucking honest with y'all. I don't care about that, but I will say getting this win against Rupert Murdoch, getting this win against the NGN is a big dub, because it's hard to do. It's hard for the average person to do something like this because there are legal protections for the media. It's different for like it's different in regards to like the UK and the US as it is from any country to country, but like it's not easy, right? And in that regard, they have a lot of money, a lot of power, influence. It's hard to get over the top against something like this, like a media outlet like this that is moving in this kind of way. But if you're someone like Prince fucking Harry, you have the money and the time to do that, to invest in this. And they must have been able to really pull out all the stops and really fucking corner them on this issue for them to say all this shit, to issue those kind of statements like, we are so sorry for how we did you. We are so sorry for how we did you and Princess Diana. We did y'all so bad. We're so sorry. Here's a big bag of money. So in that regard, it is a dub to see like just bad shit media take the fucking L. But granted, I mean, once again, it's by the hands of, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. And, it just is what it is. All the media is pretty fucking shit these days. But it is what it is. We move and we move. Let's go ahead and hit the next story from the Tennessean. Antioch school shooting updates. Shooter partially live streamed Nashville incident. 2 students, including the shooter, are dead, and another student is injured after shots rang out in the cafeteria of Antioch High School in Nashville at 11:09 a.m. Wednesday. Metro Nashville Police Department spokesman Don Aaron said police received the first call to 911 2 minutes after the 17-year-old student opened fire. The shooter killed 1 student. He then turned the gun on himself and died as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The 3rd student suffered a grazing wound. A 4th student received a facial wound due to a fall, according to Aaron, but was not directly hurt by the gunfire. He was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. We do have the names of the person who died and then the shooter. The victim was 16-year-old Jocelyn Correa Escalante, and the shooter was Solomon Henderson, 17 years old. I don't know the actual gun, like what it was. I've heard reference though that the shooter was like potentially inspired by what they called the Waffle House shooting, and of course that was like, wait, what is that? And because we've covered so many shootings, there have been so many shootings in America, obviously. So I had to Google this one. I had to look it up. It was a mass shooting that took place in Tennessee in 2018, I believe. I believe 4 people were killed. It was an AR-style weapon. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate this happened. it never feels good to cover one of these kind of stories. Obviously, we're at the top of the year, new year, same fucking shit. Unfortunately, in that regard. But I will keep you posted if I hear anything in terms of like maybe any motive or if we do get exact weapon, in terms of what the gun was. But yeah, we can go ahead and move on to our last bit for the day. Let's go ahead and do our last break, and we will talk about unfortunately another not so good fun story. But yeah, I'm not gonna get cute. Let's just do the last break. Ooh. Not to alarm or worry anyone, but I have had this weird numbness in my left hand, and it's just been that way for, I want to say, almost about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. Like, for the most part, it goes away, or it's pretty ambient back of the brain, but it definitely happens when I run on the treadmill, because I tend to like hold the sides when I come down from a run section of it, because I run for 30 seconds, walk for 30 seconds, run for 30 seconds, walk for 30 seconds. So in that in between, I tend to like kind of clutch the side, and I noticed that my left hand goes a little numb, and I still have that tingly, nummy feeling in my hand. I don't like it. Might be the new issue to check and keep you guys posted on. Anyway. From the Los Angeles Times, I'm getting over the paywall. Thank you, Yahoo News. Huge fire explodes north of Castaic, or Castaic. Look, I'm not from Los Angeles. Shuts down 5 freeway and forces evacuations. Air quality was in. Oh, I'm sorry, I scrolled too far ahead. A new fire exploded Wednesday north of Castaic, quickly charring more than 9,400 acres, and forcing thousands to flee their homes amid a month of extreme fire conditions that have plagued Southern California. The Hughes fire started off Lake Hughes just before 11 a.m. and quickly prompted evacuation orders in and around Castaic Lake. I guess that's what I'm landing on. It's Castaic now. Which by afternoon extended towards Ventura County to the west and near Sandburg to the north. More than 31,000 people were ordered to evacuate, and another 20,000 were in areas where evacuation warnings were issued. The fire was initially reported at 50 acres, but grew to 5,000 acres in the first 2 hours, fanned by strong Santa Ana winds, according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. By 5 p.m., it surpassed 9,000 acres with 0% containment, said LA County Fire Department Chief Anthony Maroney. So yeah, I mean, this is obviously not what California needs, is another big fire. That is very unfortunate. I will definitely keep you posted on any more news that I get out of that, but I did want to kind of smash ahead to at least a bit of good news, that at least out of the fires that we had kind of covered initially, I think there were like 5, it has now, gone down to just the 2. Hold on, I gotta get all the way there. I believe it's the Palisade fire. Also some more good news is that there's going to be a bit of rain, so that's good, but that's coming in the weekend. And that being said, it's not going to be necessarily enough to, say, hey, okay, everything's good now, happy ending. But yeah, it's the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire are the 2. The Palisade fire is 68% contained as of Wednesday, and the Eaton fire is 91% contained as of Wednesday. So that's a bit of good news, because obviously that means we're just talking about those two, that the remaining three have been, more or less dealt with, right? So that's good. We're in the aftermath phase of that. So yeah, I mean, progress has been made, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that this beat is going to continue. And it's worth mentioning, I mean, it's 2025. I haven't really rang that alarm too much now, but I feel like it is worth mentioning. This isn't nothing. Like, this isn't like, oh, Mother Nature being Mother Nature. Like, this is yet again another example of how climate change is fucking us. Slowly but surely, but not even slowly. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty intense and fast, how this shit is ramping up, and how we just have to kind of get used to this new level of how, a fire season can go, how a tornado season can go, how hurricane seasons can go, it's scary, it's wild shit. But yeah, all we can do is kind of stay vigilant and do the best we can. I know it's also scary too, because I mean, how do you form your life in these kind of situations where it's like, hey, I want to buy a home, but like, let's say you get your dream home, you lock that shit down, but you got to get fucking home insurance for it, right? Especially if you're living out in a place like this, right? Well, that can be a whole other fucking tumultuous issue to deal with and go through, especially these days. And it only gets worse. The more we go along in this kind of pace and this kind of rate, the more you see these insurance companies being like, yeah, I know it's our job to provide this insurance, but we are literally trying to price you out of being able to get it. Or we won't even sell it to you. We just won't. It's too volatile. And like, it's getting to the point where the government's going to have to get involved to some extent, or more of an extent now, to regulate this shit. But yet, here we are with like a Donald Trump who is going to, essentially pull us out of the Paris Agreement. Not that that was doing that much, if I'm being fucking honest, but like, just literally just giving up the game, saying, nah, man, we're gonna worry about us. We're gonna fucking make some fucking moves. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. How about that? Like, it's fucking crazy. And I really wanted to not skew the episode to talk about Donald Trump, but it's hard not to, because once again, it's one of those things where it's on a lot of people's minds, and I get it. It's on my mind too. You know what I mean? Especially when you hear about the things that he is just completely shutting down. Obviously, the whole immigration, the granting more powers to ICE is crazy. To know that it's like, hey man, you could go into these schools, you can go into these churches, you can do whatever you need to do. Just use common sense and get people, detained. We're trying to get people out of here. The idea that we had that shitty fucking phone system thing that Biden was trying to set up and do that was so fucking janky, but at least it was fucking something, right? But like, nah, that's just done. So imagine you have this situation where you were literally on the line here with this stupid ass fucking app, and you're trying to fucking use this shit so you can get into America as legal as possible, right? And now that's completely cut off from you now, like, just like that. Change the presidents, boom, it's over, dude. It sucks. It's rough shit, you know what I mean? But anyway, I know I'm just kind of blending and I'm in the weeds here. I'm supposed to be talking about fucking fires. I'm over here closing out on Donald Trump. So it goes on the newsstand. So it fucking goes. But that's where I will leave it for today. Let's see here. If you would like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. It's about to be, we're going up on the end of the first month here. So, like I said, it's a good way to, show some support. It's nice. It's pretty much a little tip jar, but, I do shout you out at the top of the month, so there's a little something in there for you. If you'd like, I can plug a project if you want, or, shout out something you want me to shout out or whatever. There's things that can be arranged with newsy privileges. You get an upgraded status, if you will. So yeah, there's that. Free ways to hit me up though, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials, and subscribe to the YouTube. That's a free way to help out. Helps on my algorithm, helps out your algorithm, I like to say. Keeps you abreast of what's going on, when I post a new episode or whatever weird hour, you'll know. But you can also, do that on Spotify as well as like the episode. You can leave a comment on the episode. Hopefully it's a cool comment. We love a cool, nice comment. Sharing is caring. I will say though, I listened to this crazy story. I love a good grift. I love a good scam. And there was this guy who was literally selling like just shitty counterfeit fucking scamaz scuffed glasses to people, like sunglasses. And he was getting away with it because essentially he was just selling them this bunkware, and then he would harass them, and you would think it's like, wow, that's bad, that's terrible. How are you making business off of this? Well, eventually, people were just leaving these terrible reviews over and over and over again. And at the time, the algorithm for Google was just allowing this to bump and boost his shit. So he didn't even have to go about it the right way. He could just fucking be a terrible human being, an evil person, a blight on society, and he was getting the top of the fucking queue on Google. So isn't that neat? Isn't that lovely? Of course they fixed that, and he did go to jail not once but twice. But hey, we move, we go, we grow. Hopefully, old Google's growing, maybe in an ethical way. That's funny. I wish. Anyway, I'm leaving you off with that story. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye bye. Mwah.